I'm Robyn Trask, editor, managing director of Loving More magazine and Loving More nonprofit. I am a long-term polyamorous person. I have a wonderful family, 3 great kids, and a wonderful partner. Polyamory simply is many loves, or more than one love. And polyamory as a term in our modern culture really refers to the romantic relationship with romantic intimate relationship with more than one person. And in our culture, or at least in the polyamory community, we like to think of that as honest. What is the best and worst part of the poly lifestyle? I think the best part of the poly lifestyle, that's pretty easy. There's so many things. There's so many things about being poly for me that's wonderful. The communication, the honesty, the being able to keep yourself open to connecting with other people even though you may have a very close, intimate partnership. The gray areas in between lovers and friends. So there's just so many different ways in which you can be polyamorous and different nuances to explore. The worst part about being polyamorous is probably people's misconceptions, needing to hide the lifestyle sometimes from people, worrying about how your children are going to be affected not because that's a negative effect on them, but because other people's misconceptions can be a real challenge. You know, it's something I've never really thought about. I love being a mom, always wanted to be a mom. I have great kids. I was single when I had my first child, and by the time he was a year old was when I decided I was not monogamous, so it doesn't really feel like anything unique or different to me. I do believe that it is a choice that gives my kids the options they need for their lives. In other words, because I'm polyamorous, I understand an alternative lifestyle. Therefore, I'm open-minded. They have a lot of adults around supporting them. They have a lot of people in their lives. And that has given them the support to be who they are. And they know that no matter who they are or what they want, I support them. Different friends and different family members I've told at different times. Some of them it didn't happen until after I learned the term polyamory and found a community. That really gave me the strength to come out and to be honest about who I was to everyone. So I haven't had any great negative reactions other than I've had people tell me it doesn't work, but friends and family, most of them have been supportive, and really none of them have been surprised. Jealousy is a funny thing. When I've experienced jealousy, it's often been when there hasn't been communication or something like that. I kind of look at jealousy in a different way. I see jealousy as a teacher for us. I see it as something that we can learn from. And jealousy really has become one of my greatest teachers. It tells me there's something going on. Either something's out of balance with me, inside me, or something's out of balance in the relationship. And I try to step back and look at it. I think we are so afraid of jealousy in our culture, we run away from it, and yet it's like any other pain. It's trying to tell us something's going on. For me, when I experienced the worst jealousy was actually when a partner lied to me about another relationship, and it was my primary partner. Not my current primary partner, but a former primary partner, and that was very difficult, of somebody that I trusted, and that once that trust is gone, that's how you cheat in poly. But it brought up a lot of feelings of jealousy and inadequacy and insecurity, and I think really that's what jealousy is about. It's about ourselves and what's going on within us. The biggest general misconception is that we're a bunch of swingers and that it's all about sex, and the other one is that we lack commitment. That somehow people in polyamorous relationships just don't know how to commit to a relationship. We lack loyalty or commitment or morals or what have you. What I found is that that's really not true. Polyamory is, first of all, not about swinging or casual sex. It's about relationships. And my current primary partner, we have a committed relationship and we have certain agreements. That's what commitment is about. It's about love. commitment is a agreement between two people in a relationship. And certainly poly people have a lot of commitment because they have to. Really, that's the whole goal of Loving More. It's the whole goal of why I do what I do, is I want people to know there are choices in relationships. It's really important to me that people know that there isn't a one-size-fits-all relationship, and that's all we're given. We call it in our community, and there have been people who have written papers on this, compulsory monogamy. We have what we call compulsory monogamy. You are given images of monogamy from the time that you are a little kid in fairy tales and everything else, and it's the only way to have a relationship, and it's the only valid relationship. And my hope that I will give a voice that will allow people to see there is more than one choice. There are many ways to have valid, wonderful relationships. And sometimes that can be choosing to be single the rest of your life because that's what you like. It can be monogamy, it can be polyamory, but wouldn't you rather have a partner choosing monogamy because they're choosing it, not because it's the only option? When you're only given one choice, then it's really not a choice, is it? The challenging things are we're underfunded, like many nonprofits. We having to work many, many hours without much financial compensation. The perks are great, but I have had to work very, very hard. And sometimes I feel unappreciated because I do work very hard. I don't think often people understand how hard it is to run a nonprofit and an organization like Loving More. The other thing that is, as far as the positive things, being here, just having a voice, just having a place where people can call up and say, wow, I've really wanted this kind of relationship for a long time, or I've had this kind of relationship. We didn't know there was support. I thought I was a weirdo. I thought there was something wrong with me. That's been wonderful, having conferences and being able to teach people, being able to educate people, being able to talk to the press and say, hey, there's a whole other way out here, and to open people's eyes to possibilities. And then I get to travel and I get to meet lots of interesting people, some very strange characters at times, and some absolutely wonderful people, and people from all walks of life. It's an amazing life. That polyamory is as diverse as people are. Monogamy, you can pretty much be sure that there's going to be one person, you know, one man, one woman, or two men or two women. And they're going to have about the same challenges. They're going to have the same things that most couples go through. When it comes to polyamory, there's such diversity. You have people living in triads, in quads, people in networks, primary couples who live next door and share finances and have children together. You have people who are single and no children, never plan to have children. You have people who are raising families with multiple adults. There are just people from all walks of life, and it's just a diverse group of people. And I really believe that most people are naturally non-monogamous. And so I really think it's important to give them the choice. I think if more people knew there were a choice, that they would make that choice. Or at least they would make the monogamy choice consciously instead of unconsciously.